Live from the spectacular Garden Routes in South Africa. We're streaming worldwide on eradiosa.com.
Well, right now it is just after 2 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon. It means it's Tourism Tuesday, Travel Tuesday with Travelbug Rose. And here she is right now, coming to us from Wilderness this afternoon. Hello, Rose.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What a another beautiful day in the garden. It looks like summer is definitely knocking on our door.
It's a beautiful day. I haven't checked the weather forecast for the week, but is there rain coming? Do you know?
Yeah, I think on the weekend there's going to be some weather.
Of course, over the weekend.
Just the way it's planned.
It's always like that. But gosh, I don't know why. But anyway, Rose, today we're talking about walking trails, sorry, and you're going to tell us all about it. It's all here in the garden route.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about walking trails in the garden route this week is because spring is actually the perfect time to enjoy it, and there's a lot of new little things coming out and little animals, and everything's breeding, and it's also still not that hot, and it really is like this little spring thing for me, like doing the walking trail. So I was thinking about talking more, some of the things that some of the trails that I've done, and then is I've been looking at this website. And there's so many that you can do. I mean, I think one of the things about Garden Route is that we actually still have the options of going hiking wherever we want, unlike other places. So it's really, really nice. And I think what I'll do is I'll start from the Mossel Bay side. A few little hikes that I have done. I've done a little bit part of the Oyster Catcher Trail, which is, it is a 5 or 4 day hike, but I've done this hike along the beach. Where you started for Honspy and you ended Fransmanshoek. Takes you all along the coastline. The nice thing about walking along those coastlines, and I've also done the hike from Donnaby to back to the cave in Mossel Bay. And that whole section of cliff is very jagged and rocky, and it's got beautiful views, and it's a lot of climbing and whales and little pieces of life. So as a beach trail in Mossel Bay, that is definitely recommended. Especially the one section between Bockenspy and Fransmanshoek, that area. It's a really lovely day outing. You can just park at Bockenspy and hike all the way. Make sure that there's a vehicle at Fransmanshoek side, and make sure that you've got a good grip and some nice hiking shoes, a good hat, water, and someone waiting with a cold beer on the other side. It takes about 2 to 3 hours.
Sounds good.
So for that stage, I've done the hikes on that side it's probably one of my favorite because it's also got so little people around, so untouched.
Yeah, exactly.
And the cove there between Fransmanshoek is really got some. In this time of the year, you'll probably find the humpback whale, southern rice, dolphins. All along the coastline as well, especially if you spend the morning hiking there from one side to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then further on the coast, there's a few hikes that I would have loved, and I still want to do the Glentana Shipwreck hike or walking trail, which I still haven't done. And then there's Dutton's Cove and Herald and Pepsi Pools in George I've done, with hiking down to from Sarsveld. There's a path to sort of walk down to the Pepsi Pools area. It's some of it is on between the pine plantations, but once you get to the area, you hike, you walk down over these beautiful coloured pools. And in summer or in the warmest times, it's really nice because you can actually swim in there and just relax in those pools. Really, they're called Pepsi Pools for a reason. They really the deep tannin colour that the trees give off, the deep coloured pools. So that's really nice. Also a nice place to park is obviously you walk there and you walk back. One of those. Take a little backpack. If you're brave enough and you can drink the water, but otherwise take a water bottle along, some snacks. Definitely a little towel that you can dry yourself off, something comfortable to walk in. good walking shoes, and with once you're there, that something you can change into, maybe if you want to have a swim, dry off and walk back. So that's George for me. Groenewald is one of the hikes that I actually haven't done, so I really need to go do it. It's also starts in the same sort of area. Which brings me to Wilderness. I think Wilderness is probably, because I live here, it's probably one of the places that is the nicest for me and that I hike the most. And of course, the half-collared Kingfisher Trail from the Ebb and Flow camp, where you go through the canopy, hike along the boards, all along the river there, little picnic spots. Then you go over with the pontoon, and then you hike along the boardwalk until you get to the waterfall, and you can swim there, relax as well. Take water, take a little bit of stuff to eat, and a good hat while you're sitting there. Put a nice comfy towel. You don't necessarily have to wear like excellent hiking shoes for that walk because they're quite comfortable. I've actually walked in slops before.
Sure, okay.
And all of these are pretty. They go from. You can need to be like kind of fairly fit, but you don't need to be super fit. And just as long as you take it easy and you enjoy the walk. And then of course the beach walks along here from Wilderness train cars to Heracus is spectacular. You can do that barefoot if you want to. It's a tough walk sometimes, or you can take just light shoes and walk. Make sure that you just stop along the way. There's loads of ocean life here at the moment. Whales. I've been watching whales breach all along the coastline here for the last week or so. So I've actually got it on film as well, which is great.
Ooh, lucky girl.
And of course, then in Sagefield, I think the favourite one is the walk from Spotflay to Heracus Point. I mean, that is just not just a walk, but also, an experience on its own, especially if you want to maybe walk with Judy Dixon and her Moonlight Meander at night and do the intercoastal stuff, which is really magnificent.
I was going to ask you now if they still do the Moonlight Meander. It's good to know that's still going.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, between Judy and Mark Dixon, they really do have an interesting walk, and especially when you start playing with octopus at night and watching them in their little sections of pools and the way they interact. And there's so much life in the intercoastal stuff. It's really to spend it with someone who actually has the knowledge of the intercoastal.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course Knysna. I think my favourite is probably Circles of the Forest, which is up at the Milkwood Hotel Forest. Circles in the Forest, and it's got one of my favourite trees there. It's I think a yellowwood tree, and this tree is probably about 1,000 years old. And there's nothing more magnificent than actually going to stand there, looking up at this tree and thinking to yourself, "What on earth has this tree gone through?" Which we will never even know.
Yeah.
And then Jubilee Creek is a nice one. Funny enough, one of the things I do is I do what they call earthing walks, where you basically take your shoes off and you walk the 3.6 kilometers, which is there and back to little Jubilee Creek waterfall and back, barefoot. It's quite an experience.
Yeah, it charges you, right? Apparently it charges you. All the negative ions or something that's in the earth, you kind of charge like a cell phone would.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, you got to go through rock, go through the rivers, so you don't have to worry about shoes getting wet or anything.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Through it. And I've done it a couple of times barefoot now, and it's really nice. You don't have to have super hard feet. You just need to. And it's the forest, you tread softly, so you're not supposed to stomp through it anyway.
Yeah.
And then one of my absolute best, it's a tough little one, but once again, if it's a good one, it's the Fisherman's Walk in Knysna. Make sure it's very, very low tide. Go to the Fisherman's Walk in Benton. Right down on the beach there is magnificent caves and little things inside there that probably people never go to because it's such a steep climb down and up. But if you're on a really, really low tide day, you probably can get all the way to Yapsabai if you're lucky. So there is an option. It's good to have shoes on. Make sure you take a backpack with some snacks and water. When I used to take my little gas stove, my little coffee pot on that one, and I used to go sit on a rock somewhere in the middle of nowhere and make a little bit of coffee along the way.
That's the life.
No, it really is. It's real. That jagged coastline, of course, with all this coastline being so much, between the Caymans and Brenton on Sea, we do have the highest fossilized dunes in South Africa, and these fossilized dunes are very pretty, and they offer very scenic walks along that way. I did walk the Platpunt to the footprints. There's so many fossilized footprints in this area, and there's footprints of the long-hooved buffalo. So from Platbank, which is Groenvlei, Turnhout, you can walk about 2 or 3 kilometers along that on low tide and spot the fossilized footprints, which are very interesting. So those are one of my favorites. And then, of course, the one I do want to mention, we all pretty much know Robert in Pickenburg Bay, but just a bit further on the crags is a guy called Mark Jones, and he's at Brackenburn Resort or Nature Reserve, and he's cut through trails there that are heath trails. They're untouched forest, or they were forested many years ago, and now it's just become a nature reserve, and he actually does nature trail guided walks as well. The nice thing about Mark Jones is he's interested in entomology and the little things of the forest. So you can spend 4 or 5 hours just walking with him. It's not a long trail; it's about 5 or 6 kilometers, but you can take 5 or 6 hours to do it because of the intricacy of it. So you hike down to the rivers, and he takes you all along these river banks and shows you the inter-life of little tiny animals and insects inside this area. So yeah, big recommendation is definitely that one. I love doing hikes. I actually go back all the time to Knock.
Nice.
Because it's very nice to do a walk where you also have someone informing you of the life around you.
Yeah, instead of just walking. Yeah, that's always nice. Just somebody to guide you as well, and also for safety. You always feel safe when you walk with somebody who knows the area, I think.
Okay, I do feel hikes, but it's always nice to share. I think that's the nice thing about it. If you've had someone to share something with. Hikes is often it's a quiet place, but it's nice to always share with somebody.
Nice.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think, that's me. There's loads. I've just, as I told you, there's our science website. I'll send a link on my post, which I'll take you in. There's quite a few on here that I have not done, so I'd love to go and do. Yeah.
Excellent.
I have done that, I haven't even mentioned.
yeah. But you mentioned some really good ones. I haven't been to like 80% of them, so I need to make a plan. But Rose, I see you were up in the air as well. When was that? Was that over the weekend?
No, it was yesterday.
Lekker.
Yeah, I went to Riversdale. That was quite a crazy flight, yes. Once again, it's in between Riversdale and Barrysdale, so we had to hike up to the launch site, carrying all our gear. And then, my friend Johan from Wild to Fly, he asked if I wanted to channel with me along the mountains. It was very exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. But
worth it.
Oh my soul! It's just the mere fact that you are gliding next to these cliffs like a bird, and you're watching the birds and the eagles and things with you. It's something as I was flying, I think to myself, there is no other way to experience these mountains.
Yeah, sure, that's amazing. But you're very brave anyway. You don't fear heights, as we know. But it's wonderful. Yeah, so your photos are up on your social media as well for those who want to go and see all about Rose's flight yesterday.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Well, maybe next week that we'll do and talk a little bit about adventure, what crazy adventure stuff we can do. You know?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Rose, thank you so much as always. And then we'll catch up again next Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
Absolutely. Great talking to you.